Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, Corinne Lafont, on Between the Lines, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a beautiful day here today. Oh my God, it's sunny. You hardly see clouds in the sky. I love clouds, but you hardly see clouds in the sky. I just love looking out and just admiring the beauty of the land, the people, the everything, and just taking in that fresh air. I'm going to be taking in some in a while. I didn't get to do some this morning, but I'm definitely after the show going to take in some fresh air. Um, I have with me today Lisa Overcash. I wonder if that's her real name. I'm supposed to ask her that during the show. I will. Lisa Overcash. Yes, that sounds like a rich name, right? Overcash. She's just overflowing with cash. and she's going to be talking about today Gone to the Dogs. You know that phrase, gone to the dogs? It's always like a negative thing, but it's not going to be negative today. Gone to the dogs. And you see why we titled the show Gone to the Dogs. I'm going to share a little bit about Lisa. She's a wellness coach, yoga and fitness instructor. Clearly, I need to go to her. Thai yoga practitioner, author of the children's book, My Forever Family, and is also in Spanish, Mi Familia para Siempre. Yeah, I can speak a little Spanish and pronounce it very well, which means my family always when you convert it in English. So my forever family, okay? That children's book is, as I said in Spanish, is a fun true story of unconditional love, joy, family, and faith, narrated by the dog named Promise that inspired the story, and she's going to share about that. The dog longs to be loved and given a special name. Well, I just gave away the name, Promise. He teaches positive, he or she, I don't know if it's a he or she, teaches positive lifestyles, values through pleasure reading. Now, when she signs the dog also signs with her a paw print signature. My God, that is so creative, a paw print signature. And part of the proceeds go to animal rescue charities. So she's very philanthropic, as they say, or philanthropic in her, in writing this book. So she's giving back. Like we say, gone to the dogs. So thank you so much, Lisa, for being on Between the Lines. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's my joy to be here.
Great. I'm hearing a bit of sound coming through the recording. I don't know where that's coming from, like an echo. Do you have any?
You might hear a bird. We do have a bird that
I'm hearing. I have a little bit of echo sort of animal
from you as well.
Yeah, I was going to say some sort of animal, but I
have a bird that's chirping.
Yeah, that's fine. Great. It sounds like we're in a forest. Very good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feature.
Well, we are.
Yeah?
Yes, we are out in the country, that's for sure.
Okay, great. So that's okay. I'm going to ignore that. So the focus is really on you and really more so on Promise. I'm featuring Promise Good Looks here on the screen.
I see that. That's great.
Yes, I'm featuring his good looks. This is a boy or a girl?
She is a girl.
It's a girl. And you're kind of snuggling up quite close to her there, Promise.
Yes.
Are you trying to get some of the good looks to come over by you? Is
that would be nice. I would welcome that for sure. She's quite the little girl that enjoys snuggling for sure, getting close and rubbing cheeks.
Yes, you all have similar hair color and all. Oh my goodness, what's going on with that?
It just worked out. It's one of those things that, oh well, I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. So today we're going to be talking about My Forever Family, Mi Familia para Siempre. And tell us a bit about that story and why that children's book? Is this your first book as an author? And why,
yes.
Why a children's book?
Well, it is my first book, and I felt led to share the story of this little Yorkshire Terrier that came into our family's life and the way the puppy made a difference in our lives and the people that she has touched throughout her life here with us.
Okay. So tell us a bit about how she came into your life and the lessons that we can learn from her, because like I was saying to you prior to airing the show, animals, I have looked over the years at how animals behave, and I always like the Animal Channel, the Animal Network and stuff, and to me, we as humans are supposed to be higher up on the totem pole, the food chain. We are supposed
Absolutely.
we are supposed to be smarter, brighter, intelligent, be able to make decisions and stuff. But somehow the animals seem to have it better than us, you
They,
know.
they do. They seem to see what's more important.
Yeah, and they get it together. There's
They
no
sure do.
yeah, there's no infighting and stuff, and they work as a team because they look at the greater goal, the bigger picture, survival, whatever it is, they know instinctively what needs to be done. So we to me, we need to learn more from the animals of the animal kingdom. It doesn't matter how small or large they are, but to be able to take from them what we need to learn as humans, and in terms of interaction, relationships, and like you mentioned, what can be learned from Promise about family values, social values. So share with us the story about Promise, how she came into your life, and what sort of impact she has had that we as humans can take from that.
Of course. This story starts when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I felt led to have that emotional support that we were just talking about that dogs can give to us, and to just embrace that. So I was led to get a Yorkshire Terrier. And when choosing this Yorkshire Terrier, throughout the story, we began with this Yorkshire Terrier being selected from the choice of many Yorkshire Terriers to choose from. And she is living with Big Daddy, who is the one in charge of her. And Big Daddy lets her know that she's going to, and the other puppies in the litter, that she's soon to be going to other families that would adopt her and the others, and that it was okay to be a little scared, but Big Daddy reassured her that she would be given a good home and lots of love. So as the story goes on, and Promise does narrate the story, she explains the different events that come into her life about the children that she soon shares life with as her sisters, and then also the experience of what it's like to come into a home and seeing the children and meeting them, and the tenderness that comes from meeting this family for the first time and learning about each of the children. And through this, we continue to go through the story, and there's significant lessons that evolve about life and about concerns. It teaches positive lifestyle values to children through pleasure reading. The story deals with basic activities and routines of daily living, along with typical challenges that arise in family situations, like brushing your teeth and doing a good job, taking turns, showing compassion. These are things that are just daily.
I like how you said brushing your teeth and doing a good job.
Yes,
Because
because
we know when kids are brushing their teeth, it's not really a matter of doing a good job.
exactly. They may even try to just wet their toothbrush just to act like they've done it. I mean, they're very clever in trying to get through situations and hoping you believe one thing's done and actually it's not. So that's why I said, and do a good job. So from there, we walk into other challenging experiences in children and even adults taking turns. We all need to take turns. There's an element in the story that shows a me first type situation, and how the children can actually learn to wait, be patient, and take turns. So as the children learn to work through situations like this, there's these internal shifts that happen along the way with a more positive expression of caring for others. So then you have elements of compassion, as well as taking initiative. When you see a challenge, do you collapse? Like there's an incident where the puppy's missing. So do you just stop and start crying and feel overwhelmed and panic? No. You step into the pretending to be a detective to find that puppy. So there's an element of persevering and keep on trying.
Yeah. Is this the first dog in your family?
No, she's not the first dog in our family, especially for me individually. I have had a dog in my life since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And our family has had multiple dogs throughout our togetherness. And we would not consider life normal without a dog, for sure.
Really? Wow, I've always had a fear of dogs. I've grown up with a fear of dogs, and it's something that I said I need to overcome. I've been around some dogs. Some dogs have come at me. Some people have some serious dogs at their homes that is very scary.
Well,
They're
I think that's understandable. An
yeah.
unknown dog, an unpredictable dog,
Hmm.
all these are elements of true facts. You need to be cautious around all animals,
Hmm.
especially if you don't know them and they don't know you. I think having a healthy, cautious approach is smart.
Hmm. But I need to overcome it because I think, and not only that too, Lisa, I tend to get attached quickly to animals. It could be fishes, birds, anything. I had fishes at one point, and when I got up one morning, I saw him belly up. I was like, oh my God, I'm ready to die. And then they would say, flush him down the toilet. I'm like, what? Flush him down the toilet? That is just so horrible. We need to properly bury him. And I'm talking as an adult, you know. I,
I
I
understand that.
I get very
I
attached, and
completely
I don't know. I think I just don't want to have to deal with that kind of attachment because I would just go into a state of, I wouldn't want to say depression, but I would definitely be sad, and I'm going to be worried, and that whole emotional roller coaster. I really don't need that. I don't want to see them sick. I don't want to see them, no.
I understand that it's very difficult, but for me, and I think most dog lover animals that want them in your life do feel what you're talking about. But
Mhm.
we know that going into that it's likely that that relationship will end at some point due to the life ending. But the joys and the greatness and that special sweetness that they provide you, that unconditional love that they provide for us, and that unique relationship
Yeah.
rises above that.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I would do it because I have seen people with dogs. I have friends that have loads of dogs. I mean, I don't know how they can be surrounded in one home with so many dogs, different types. And some of them don't even have children. Their dogs are their children because they just, I guess, get back. As you say, it's unconditional. They don't argue back with you. Well, some dogs do argue back in their own way,
Yes.
but but they just give love to you. They know when you're not well. They know when you need attention. They know when you need someone to just talk to. You could watch movies with them, you know and they're just into it. I'm like, I need that. I think I need that. I don't think I know I need that in my life. And I said, I should probably try and work with the what do you call it, SPCA, the
Yes.
things, to try and work myself into getting to know animals and get over my fear and eventually get a dog of my own, to just relate and know how to probably deal with that kind of loss and separation. And as you said, the joy, just think of the joy, the unconditional love that they give, and those memories will stay with you forever.
Absolutely. That's a good idea to work with the SPCA. And
Mhm.
you could even maybe volunteer a little bit here and there, and they can help you bridge that uncertainty and welcome that new relationship in your life.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's very healthy to do something like that. And especially, you must recognize your fears. We all have fears of some sort. Every one of us has fears. And that is one of them. And even though I'm saying this publicly, I really don't want anybody to come at me with a dog. But, but,
Well,
you
there's
know,
a positive way to do it. Yes, you don't want to step into something that's going to cause you more uncomfortable feelings and
yeah,
trauma. You want to be smart about it and really do your homework
yeah.
and find a path that's going to be a pleasant moving
Yeah,
forward experience.
yeah, and that's really what you want. This life is too short, Lisa, and you want to have those meaningful experiences and memories. And like you said, when Promise came into the home, things shifted, people had different responsibilities, people reacted differently. It's like bringing a new baby in a home. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Exactly. It definitely stirs the heart and the mind in
Mhm.
multiple directions, and being able to create this type of environment for everybody. It especially helps children feel more comfortable being their unique selves as well as sharing their feelings. So it's an opening door to this mental health and this inner drama of childhood, an
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement of that, and a readiness and a willingness to explore it, and helping children understand, it's okay to have fears, like you were just talking about. It's okay to even be mad, but it's really comes down to, it's what you do with that anger, it's what you do with that fear,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make the difference in the long run in your life.
But like you said, it wasn't the first time you had a dog or dogs in your life, but for your children and your husband, your family itself, it was the first.
No, this is not a first dog in my family. We have had multiple dogs. Actually, I had two dachshunds when I got married, and the condition was, if this man did not want me and my dogs, there was a big question mark whether that relationship would continue, because there's no way I could get into a relationship for a life commitment with a man that had no interest in dogs. It was just too important to me, and
That is
fortunately
very good.
he is all on board, and that's a match that works. I mean, we all have things, that are going to work, that are dynamic in who we are, and we need to match that in our relationships in order to enhance that individually and together.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You made it very clear. It's a package deal. It's me and the dogs. And so,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
you did not compromise on that. And a lot of us, just to veer off a bit, a lot of us compromise our standards just to be with the man. And then we realize that or the woman, vice versa. And we realize that we're unhappy. There's something missing in our lives.
I agree. And I think that's what I was alluding to a little bit about that. Dogs and this environment can really create that level of comfort to express emotion. Because they stir such emotion, we are invited by their presence to feel like it's okay to share and to feel more confident in our unique selves, as well as, we start feeling like we have an element of what we can take care of. As we build in a relationship with the dog or another animal, and we're caring for that animal, we become more confident in who we are and more confident in our ability to do things. As children take care of the dogs and take turns taking care of the dogs, they see the dog thriving because of what they have done. So that stimulates self-esteem.
Yes. And it's great responsibility for them, caring for another being, whether it is human being or animal being, just caring for another living being. And that is important, I think, in children's lives, for their development.
Absolutely.
Their development and
Absolutely.
responsibility. They know that the dog needs to be fed, that it needs to be walked, it needs to have a bath, it needs to go to the doctor, it needs, just the same way how you as a mother would care for a child, that your child needs to care for something else.
Right, exactly. And there's elements that come from that. In addition to that, what we've already talked about, a lot of children are not having, or even adults, people do not have the opportunity to develop that sense of gentleness.
Yeah.
You have to have that sense of gentleness in order to care for an animal. So when I was in the book, there's an element of that gentleness that comes off the page. So when a dog comes into the room, a lot of people want to swarm the dog and want to be all over the dog and all excited. And there's an element in the story where the mom is helping the children to take turns with the dog, to sit quietly on the couch, to share and gently pet the dog one at a time, not to overwhelm the puppy, so that sweetness, that joy that comes from that gentleness will make the dog feel more comfortable, be more accepting of the children, of the family members, which is pretty parallel to the way it works with relationships in society as well.
Exactly. I was just thinking of human beings. Nobody wants to be swamped, like a paparazzi. Nobody,
Yes.
clickety click, clackety clack all over. You want your space, you want your breathing room, but at the same time, you appreciate the attention, but not just everything all at once coming and attacking you. Not all.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's the same thing.
They can teach us to not put ourselves in too many different categories of life. They help us see the categories of life that are most important. And if we forget those basics and we try to overstep the basics to get into the complex, life does not go smoothly. Life starts falling apart in places.
Yeah. How does your wellness interact with what you are learning through the book or what you have written, in the book? How does wellness work together with promise and the objective of the book?
Well, I'm very concerned, I think, as a lot of people are, about what's being put in front of our children in the world. And so I worked in the field of child development and having my own 4 children. And this has helped me really understand better their inner needs. And so the wellness part, I work with a lot of people of all different ages with the wellness, and we make choices every day, whether we are going to do well in our lives by the things that we say yes to and by the things that we say no to. So what I have learned in the connection with the wellness is we have choices every day. We have choices to take care of our bodies physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the book addresses all those aspects in a child's life, and in terms of each of the descriptions that you see on the pages, with the words, with the actions. And we need a great intimacy with wellness. We need a great intimacy and unity. And as the story unfolds, you see how there's a relationship that's happening between the children, between the mom and the child and the dog, the combination of everybody, and the dad. So from here, you feel the unique, special intimacy that's developed during the times that they share.
Okay. I just noticed, I looked at your family photo before, but I just noticed that your husband is surrounded by 5 beautiful women. That was planned, Lisa.
Maybe so. We were just gifted with these 4 wonderful daughters,
right?
And young guys were not part of it until they get married one day, but this is the way it's supposed to be.
Right? Your husband is surrounded by 5 beautiful women. Right?
Yes, he is definitely, and he often jokes about that, how he has 5 beautiful women that take very good care of him.
Right?
Although he says, I do need a break from them sometimes.
Too much estrogen.
Yes, exactly. And we all respect that and definitely embrace that understanding.
He probably takes the dog for a walk, but then the dog is a girl too. My goodness.
Yes. Well, we also have some other dogs. Now, he has his manly dog. It's a boxer named Rex.
Okay.
And he'll take his dog for a walk.
Yes.
And that's always a treat for him. I also have a golden retriever that's a puppy that I've been training for therapy dog work. Now, Promise is also a therapy dog, and we, in addition to going into the community, and I read the book to children in schools and hospitals and different locations, I also take Promise, and we go and we serve as a therapy visitation team where we provide affection and comfort to individuals in hospitals and nursing homes and other similar type facilities, and participate in animal-assisted therapy with physical therapists.
Oh, nice. Very good. So how are you managing with your multiple sclerosis? And for persons who don't know what that is, kind of give us a quick overview of what that is and how having Promise and doing these therapy sessions has helped you.
Sure. Multiple sclerosis is a central nervous system disease where the body attacks itself, and the part of that it attacks is called the myelin. The myelin is the covering of each of the nerves. So if you think of, say, an electrical wire that goes into the wall for electricity, and that electrical wire is, say, hooked to an appliance, and if there's a nick in that electrical wire, the message to ignite the electricity to allow the appliance to work might not happen, or it might be sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. That's exactly what happens with the messages from the brain and the central nervous system to the rest of the body. Messages are not coming through clearly, and sometimes there's a ability where you don't get it through at all. So that's why you see some people that have challenges with walking, challenges with other types of situations physically. Now, I've been doing very well. I've had the disease for 14 years.
Whoa. Mm-hmm.
And I have just used that whole aspect of wellness to do my research and live a very wholesome, wonderful life as best I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done that through diet changes, staying with whole foods and organic foods, vegetarian, staying away from meat proteins, mostly plant-based plant proteins. And then I make sure I'm doing exercise every day and, just making the best and rising above it. I do need an element of more rest, just trying to calm down the stimulation from the world with the overstimulation that happens when the nervous system is not working well.
Mm-hmm.
But this little dog, I do feel God matched me with this sweet, loving, loyal, pint-sized therapeutic joy. That's for sure. Because there's been times have been forced to stay in the bed, and she's been right by my side and snuggling up to me, giving me that unconditional love, creating that tenderness of everything's going to be okay. And something about that pressure of her little self snuggling against me, it's just like a hug.
Yes. Yeah. And they're always seeking that rubbing the belly or attention or hug or snuggling. It's not like a human being. Sometimes you're looking for that attention and they're like, get away from me. Move.
That's right. There's never a time of leave me alone. Fortunately, that's her personality. I do think there are dogs and animals that do have that, but fortunately, she is not that way at all. So any opportunity to be close near to me, and they, you talked a little bit about it earlier. She does sense when my day's not going so good, and she will be right near me more than usual, sometimes even before when I'm not even realizing the day's not so great yet.
Yeah. I've heard of some dogs, and I've seen movies being created and documentaries about dogs that can sense when you're going to have a seizure. They're just able to pick up. I mean, isn't that an amazing quality, trait, characteristic? How, and they find these dogs to do therapy or work or live with persons
Exactly.
who
They have
condition.
an instinct. Definitely. They have an instinct, as well as they can be trained, as you were just saying, for many things. It's like a service type dog that can be trained to determine if your blood sugar is too high. They can be determined, as you were saying, if there's a type of seizure that might be brewing. They can also be able to instinctively figure out that, hey, you're about to step into a panic attack or a sense of over anxiety feeling, or you're having extra pain right now. They have a way of tapping into that.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
I think it's amazing. It just blows my mind and melts my heart about that for sure.
Yeah, and you see they come to you. You don't even know that it's going to come on to you, like a seizure or something. And they already position themselves, or they start tugging at you, get on the floor or get on, and they put their body around you, under your head, so you don't hit your head, or, they do that.
Definitely. They do. They have that sense about them. And, in addition to that, because of what they provide through their unique selves, they can create a sense of meaning for life, a sense of purpose and value on an extremely deeper level.
Yeah, I'm more convicted now in talking to you, Lisa, that I absolutely need to, reach out to the SPCA and we'll do some volunteer work with them and just, get to know animals and open myself to that and just get to watch and understand and be around them,
I think that you will soften with time. I think that if you're around animals that are a positive influence, that have that unique self to share with you, you will see that. Now, there's animals out there that are not going to be a good match for you or anybody. That's common. And you can even go online these days and pick out an animal that might match your personality. So they will give you a breed or several breeds that would fit your personality, would fit your lifestyle, your living environment.
Serious?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Where
ma'am.
do you find that?
Well, you could just probably put in Google,
Mm-hmm.
what pet's best for me, or what dog's the best breed to get. And even if you go through the SPCA, they
Mm-hmm.
can tell you, this dog has these particular breeds within their DNA, because they can tell by the physical
Yeah.
characteristics. So you could even match that combination, and you could let them
Wow.
know. So, if you have a lifestyle that's very active, and you're outdoors, and you're hiking, you're doing a lot of activity like that, you're going to want to go with an animal that's more of a working dog,
Yeah.
that is ready for that and can take that on,
Yeah.
that is very happy with that. If you have a lifestyle like that, you wouldn't want a basset hound. A basset hound type dog would rather just lay around and do hardly anything. They're not as eager to do so much, but
Yeah.
that's their mentality. That's their personality.
Yeah.
That's their characteristics.
I
But say, for instance, you do prefer that, and you are not an outdoorsy person and a hiking
mm-hmm.
person, you would want to choose a more relaxed
Mm-hmm.
dog that's not a working dog, that's content to be still whenever you're still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am definitely going to follow through on that. That's one of my projects for 2018. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm definitely going to check it out after I'm finished doing my shows. Go online and check it out.
Well, I think that's a great idea and wonderful. Your life will be enriched in
Yeah.
ways beyond that you can conceive.
That's beautiful. I accept that. I accept that. How do we get copies of your books? It's on Amazon.
Yes, it's on Amazon as well as other online book distributors. You'll see them there as that way. You could also get in touch with me
Mm-hmm.
at LF Overcash. That's L as in love, F as in faith, overcash at gmail.com. Or you can also go on my website, embracingwellnesscoach.com. And as you were saying earlier, I will sign the book. I can give a personal inscription, and of course, Promise would give her paw print signature.
For sure. For sure.
Yes.
For sure. And I think the paw print is more important than your signature. So,
I think so too. I've really found that to be evolving over this time that this has been happening, and people have been requesting the book. I had a daycare center that wanted one for each of their rooms, so they contacted me, and to be sure to make sure every single book has the paw print in it. I said, I promise I'll make sure Promises paw print is in every single book.
oh my God, it's not about you, Lisa. It's
No, it's
about
not.
Promise.
And I think that's okay. I
You
don't feel
sure?
like it
Are
has to
you?
be about me. It's
Yeah, you
about
sure about
the
that?
message. It's about
Yeah,
the dog.
you're not jealous of Promise or anything?
Absolutely not. I really feel strongly that I really would like to see that this book is in the hands as many of children and adults, because not only I feel like do the children learn from the situations that are read to them, as the adults, young adults, all ages, read to the children, they they are touched. They receive messages that's meant for them to come from the story.
Beautiful. And why did you decide to translate it in Spanish as well? I think that's a fabulous idea.
Well, I love the Spanish language. I've been a student of Spanish for a while myself, and I'm always love learning it as well and improving those skills. And my children have been involved in that too. So when they were younger, I was always looking for books that had an English version and a Spanish version, because that really helped our skills. So I did it for the learning aspect, as well as I felt like this story should reach the Spanish speaking individual, especially since the Spanish language is starting to grow and grow throughout our countries
Yes.
as almost a second language in some locations.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm featuring your Amazon page here. And
I
we were
see.
yeah, we were
That's
just
great.
we were just on your website, so featuring your book, so persons know they can get it off your website. And I'm showing both the English and the Spanish version, and your cute little picture there with Promise.
Thank you. I see it too. It's a joy to see that. Thank you for sharing it.
Yes, and the illustration is really great. Who is your illustrator for the book?
Her name is Julie Anderson, And she is a dynamic illustrator. She's done several books throughout her career. She is a freelance illustrator. So in the book, you could, if you ever had a need, you could contact Julie Anderson,
Yeah.
and her email address is kidart@mac.com, because she will do freelance work like she did for me. And I interviewed her as well as the editor, and just trying to see who would be the best fit, not only for the beauty of the artwork, but also the working relationship.
Yeah.
You know, that was important to me too. I mean, you know, we're trying to instill positive relationship building in this story through the different messages that evolve from the storyline and that come off the pages. So I certainly didn't want my relationship to not be functioning freely, smoothly with an illustrator or an editor. And that fortunately turned out very well.
Beautiful. And you have both the Kindle version and a hardcover version. So
I do.
That's beautiful. So the hardcover makes sure that it maintains the integrity of the book and all of that. That's fabulous. I think I have.
Right. We've had, I mean, I really do enjoy having a book that stands a length of time.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly opening and closing it and transporting it from here to there, the softer covers end up tearing up pretty fast.
Yeah. Fabulous choice and decision.
And then gifting too. I've had people call me and want the book for unique baby shower gifts, or when children have been adopted into families. They like the aspect of, okay, we're talking about a dog that's adopted in a family, and the dog has 4 legs. However, this certainly applies to a 2-legged adoption too. Children want to be loved, and they want to be significant in their families, and they have a little bit of fear and a little shy. So this helps that a bit.
Now, what's the deal with Overcash?
It is my married name. It belongs to my husband, and I chose to take it with gladness for sure. And we definitely get a lot of discussion brought about that makes people smile about being overcashed and having more money than we know what to do with. That is far from the truth. It's interesting. I did a little research on it. At first, it's a German last name, and it started as Obercash. So the V used to be a B, like in boy. So over time, it evolved into Overcash.
Okay. Well, I think you're actually filled with overcash, filled with wealth. You're 5 women plus a female dog to 1 man. That is wealth.
Well, there.
That is
I can see that.
Yes. It's not only a matter of money, cash flowing, but cash is the concept. And you're overfilled with love, joy, you know, estrogen.
Yes, we definitely are filled with overjoyed. We are overjoyed and very thankful. Very thankful.
So Overcash, you know, names are so significant. When I look at people, sometimes they do represent their names. They live out their names. They represent the name. So your family, when I look at a photo, I definitely see Overcash, over joy, over spirit, over everything. I see that in the photo op.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a whole new perspective to see. And I appreciate that so much, because I do feel that. And I am so thankful for that and feel overjoyed with gratitude.
Very good. Well, Lisa, it's been a pleasure having you. Next time, it really should be promised on the show.
Okay, then.
So I'll forgive you for not.
Okay.
Yes, for not having promise here. So please have her call in the next time when we do a booking. Don't overshadow promise, please.
Okay, then.
Right.
Yes.
Let her do her own booking and everything, and we'll be good to go. Thank you very much.
I love it. Of course. Thank you.
Yes. The paw print, I'll accept a paw print. Okay.
Okay, then.
Okay. Please give her a hug for me and tell her that one day she needs to live long enough, and I need to live long enough to be able to see and meet her.
I would like that very much. She would too.
I'm sure. Thank you so much, Lisa. It's been a pleasure having you on Between the Lines. You keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing your charitable work, philanthropic work. You know, I'm praying that your health is going to continually improve with, the environment that you live in and the environment that you're creating, not only for your family, but also for other families and other children and other people, who
Thank you.
I wish you
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I wish you the best. Many blessings.
Thank you, my darling. You be good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.